You know, the longer I've been in the health field, the more that I keep finding drugs that come out on the market or drugs that exist on the market today that are really just meant to mimic or copy something that occurs in the natural world anyway. And oftentimes they never even come close to functioning as well as the natural nutrient themselves. And so lately, you know, I've been reading a lot about Alzheimer's, and if you're familiar with Alzheimer's at all, they have very few drugs for it. In fact, there's only a couple drugs out on the market now, and they're all classified as acetylcholine stearase inhibitors. I know that's a long word, but an acetylcholine stearase inhibitor is a drug that interferes with an enzyme that clears acetylcholine out of your brain. Now, why is this important in Alzheimer's? Because all Alzheimer's patients are deficient in acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter that determines the speed by which your brain processes information. It's also the main neurotransmitter involved in the retrieval and laying down of memories. And so when that's deficient, people have less ability or less ability to access memories or to lay down memories or just to even have cognitive thought about anything that's going on right in the moment that they're in, because there's just not a connection going on in their brain. And so when you take this drug, their theory is that they're clearing out some of that enzyme so you have a little bit more access to what little acetylcholine you have in your brain. Now, I find it fascinating that they don't tell you to eat any foods that have a lot of choline in it or to take any supplements with choline in it so that you naturally make more of it. They just give you a drug to deal with that enzyme. But the reason I want to talk about it in the first place is because there's actually a couple herbs out on the market that a lot of you can consume every day if you just make the effort to do it, or may be consuming now, that work better than the drugs that are out on the market. One of them is green tea. I read about this 10 years ago in studies showing that green tea extract works as an acetylcholine stearase inhibitor much better than the drugs that they've actually developed to do the same exact thing. Now, you can get green tea, you can drink it just as a liquid, you can buy it in capsules at any health food store and take it. It has a beneficial effect on your brain, and it passes the blood-brain barrier quite readily. So it does have a great level of activity in your brain. I use it for that same very reason in my drink Tianqi. In fact, I use a form of it called that's a phytosome, meaning that the green tea antioxidants are bound with a type of lecithin from sunflower so that your body absorbs more of it because it's in a fat-soluble form. Now, the other herb that shows the same exact activity of being an acetylcholine stearase inhibitor is called club moss. There's a chemical in club moss called huperzine A, which has been shown to be a very potent acetylcholine stearase inhibitor, and it also has a beneficial effect of increasing circulation in your brain, and is considered by most herbalists as probably the #1 herbal remedy for memory issues. And why is that? Well, for both of those reasons I just said. A large percentage of memory issues have to do with lack of circulation. You know, when we think of circulation or circulatory problems, we're always thinking of things like heart disease. You know, there's a blockage of your artery to your heart. But, you know, the arteries are pretty big, and it takes a long time to block them. The little blood vessels that lead to your eyes and that actually flood your brain are much, much tinier and are subject to being blocked also. And it doesn't take that long to do it. So this is why the herb ginkgo is a famous herb for memory, because ginkgo opens up circulation in your upper body and in your brain. So acetylcholine stearase inhibitors, what they do is allow your brain to have more access to acetylcholine, but then this one herb, club moss with huperzine A, actually does something similar to ginkgo in that it increases circulation. At the same time, it inhibits the clearing out of acetylcholine. This is why I use that along with green tea and tianqi, and why I give you multiple pathways by which to make acetylcholine by having DMAE in it and having another nutrient called choline bitartrate, so that your body has the building blocks of making acetylcholine, which again is responsible for the speed by which your brain processes information.